Okay, once again, give us your name and affiliation, and we'll start first with a statement from Jay.
Yeah, great performance tonight by our team. Thought it was a great team win. Had a little bit of adversity early in the game there, and really responded offensively. In the second inning, we took some really good at-bats, and then big inning, obviously, there in the third, with a great one by Cade. Really proud of the pitching staff. Everybody contributed tonight. It was big of Javen to get out of the first inning with no runs. We didn't do him any favors offensively in the first, going down on 9 pitches and swinging at like 3 or 4 balls, which was a little out of character, so we made it tough on him in the second. Blake, after giving up the single, that was a big out right there with their best hitters coming up. And then obviously what a performance by Griffin to strike out Kurtz, to limit the damage there, and then really settled into the game and got us the length that we needed. And then Gavin came in and executed incredibly well, and Riley finished off another one. So good performance, and we'll turn it over to tomorrow.
Okay, let's have questions for the student athletes, and we'll start right here.
Wilson Alexander from the Advocate for Cade. Just take us through your home run at bat. What were you seeing there, and especially on the pitch, the home run pitch itself?
Yeah, I was just trying to hit a fly ball in center field, stay out of the double play. Once that pass ball happened, kind of changed my mindset a little bit. But when you have good as a coach as Coach Jay, especially with hitting, he's telling you to get the ball at your thigh, you better listen. So got a change up at my thigh and put a good swing on it, and just went over the fence.
Okay, Leah.
Leah Van, Baton Rouge Advocate. Griffin, what was working for you on the mound tonight? And yeah.
I would say the fastball was probably my main pitch tonight. Had good run to it. I think maybe it sank a little bit sometimes it rode. So, probably fastball. Slider got working towards the end, but yeah.
Okay, Mike.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge. Cade, just how much has your past and everything you've kind of seen and gone through kind of made you ready for moments when they come up?
I mean, yeah, it just kind of puts things into perspective, and it's just like the whole concept, like behind like have to versus get to. Like you don't have to come through in those moments. Like you get to be in those moments, and that's the thing that kind of puts me at peace, especially like when the game's at its highest and stuff like that. And just in the on deck circle, trying to get yourself as calm as possible, especially when you kind of see the moments coming. But yeah, just trying to stay calm as possible.
Okay, right here.
Cookie Riley with the Advertiser. Riley, what do you do to sort of make yourself just, I guess, physically ready for a moment like this after you threw 40 pitches yesterday?
A lot of water and sleep. Try to sleep as much as I can, and I just show up, and I feel good.
Okay, here in the...
And kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum there, I mean, Griffin, you hadn't pitched really in 2 weeks. I mean, just what do you do to stay ready to be able to kind of come out and go 4 1/3 and really kind of shut the middle of that game down a little bit?
We throw weekly bullpens. Coach Wes Johnson, he does a great job with us. Really good catch play, a lot of intent with everything that we're doing, and, pure adrenaline. This place is awesome. I think I kind of was able to feed off the adrenaline instead of letting it get to me, kind of like steroid shot. Pretty cool.
Get back over here.
We'll make sure the adrenaline is not on the NCAA banned substance list.
Daniel Griffin.
Michael Farrar with Berg Sports Network. My question is for Riley and Griffin. Riley, can you talk about Griffin's performance today? And Griffin, can you talk about the big outing from Riley at the end there?
Riley, you start.
It was huge. He killed up a lot of innings, and he threw good, and he's been doing that all year, and it's just really cool to see him do it here on the big stage.
Griffin.
We all knew what he was going to do. He's cool. He comes in, closes it out, has fastball working, a lot of ride. It's just what he does.
Okay, Michael.
Cade, what is it about Riley? Is it just deception? People have seen him enough now, but they still can't get to him.
Yeah, I mean, he just makes things uncomfortable as a hitter. He could throw any pitch in any count for a strike whenever he wants to. In college baseball, it's pretty hard to do. And, he throws 90 to 93 miles an hour from the left side, which is, that's pretty good. He's really good, and, he just pounds his own. So, you can't take an at-bat off of him. He never really gets out of control, like sporadic when he's throwing the ball. So he's always going to compete.
Okay, Matt?
Matt Talberty from World Baseball Network. Cade, what does it feel to have guys like Joe Burt and let alone Cruz starting off that inning in the third to set the tone for your at-bat?
Yeah, I mean, he's the best player in college baseball, and, he's on our team. He does what he does. He's one of the most complete players I've ever seen, and, I watch MLB baseball every day. So, I mean, that speaks measures to him. But, he always comes through in the big moments. That's just – he's like our catalyst for the offense, So, when he gets things rolling, it just gives the rest of us confidence.
Go Leah here.
Griffin, this is a big stage for true freshmen like you. At what point in time when you were on the mound did you feel like you had settled into this game, or was that something you felt in the beginning?
Honestly, I never did. I was just kind of out there throwing the ball and just looking at Al. That was pretty much it. I mean, I never really felt like I'm really in this, they can't touch me. I just was throwing the ball.
Serious? This guy's a comedian.
Cade, is there something about the batter's eye here that just allows you to see the ball a lot better? You've just been taking great hacks during this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the nicest fields in America. The people whoever constructed this field and put it all together did a phenomenal job. So you can see the ball good here. They got bright lights and good batter's eye.
Okay, we got here Aaron.
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball for Riley and Griffin. There was a stretch kind of during the middle of the year where the bullpen, obviously went through some struggles, been pretty well documented, but down the stretch, it's been dramatically better statistically, and especially here in Omaha. What do you guys think has been the biggest difference in the bullpen kind of gelling the way it has?
Griffin?
I think everybody's just playing for each other. I mean, nobody wants to see that last game. I know for a fact nobody on this staff, nobody in the dugout, and we're all just playing for each other, doing everything we can. And, the bullpen was always talented, so none of us were ever worried about it.
Riley?
Yeah, we just want to win, and so we're just doing our part, and because we always know the hitters got our back, so we just thought we should, get even with them and win some games.
Michael?
For Riley and for Griffin, just how much is there chatter about throwing strikes, being aggressive because of the way the wind, the ballpark plays? Is that conscious in your all's thought?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking the whole time. I mean, when you have Dylan in center, I have pretty good confidence in him catching the ball. So, yeah, I just throw strikes and, just let him hit it and stuff, and it worked out well.
Griffin?
Yeah, just to add to that, Coach Johnson, from the very, very first day we got here, first practice, he said just dominate the white. Not a hitter-friendly park, so just dominate over the plate, and you're going to get a lot of outs.
Okay, back here in the back, this will be our last question for the players.
Jacques Doucet, WAP-TV in Baton Rouge. To all three of you guys, your thoughts on one game to win to go to the National Championship Series?
It's another game. We're not going to make it anything bigger than it is. It's the same game we've been playing since February. We're going to go out there, we're going to have fun, and we're going to compete, to the best of our abilities and let the rest take care of itself. But, we're not going to make it some massive thing. Today everybody knows the scenario, but, you don't have to put any more pressure on yourself. Just go out there and have fun.
Riley?
Basically he said we're just going to play one game at a time how we normally do. And, just do what we do.
Griffin?
Yeah, just one pitch at a time. We got guys like Dylan Cruz, Cade Beloso, Riley Cooper. So I think we're just going to play loose, have fun.
Okay, man. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Can I take this?
Not yet. Leave it here. Leave it here.
It's Bush.
When the time comes, you'll get them. Okay, questions for Jay, and we'll start with Michael here.
Sorry, I got to ask it, so I want to get it in early. What's the thought process and the conversation involved with pulse schemes and availability?
We'll talk to him tonight. I think it's a day-by-day deal. We have a pretty thorough process that we go through with pitchers and their availability and testing and recovery and all of those types of things. So we still need to go through that tomorrow before we make any decision.
Okay, Matt.
Matt DeMarinis, White Miller Review. I think if someone were to walk in here and not really know what's going on, they wouldn't know these guys are playing elimination games the last 2 days by just their attitudes. Does that permeate through the entire roster, and why do you think your guys are so loose despite the pressure?
Yeah, I think, in the first meeting of the year, every year, one thing I tell them is 365 days a year, we're going to work on mindset. We expect to be here. We expect to be playing important baseball in June. And we play every game like we're playing important baseball in June. Like the Tuesday on March 22nd against McNeese is the playoff game to us. And the thought process behind that is if you do that all year long, then you can just stay in character when you get to the postseason. And that's something that I adopted early on in my career, and I think it's really benefited us in tournament play.
Yeah, here.
Coach, yesterday you told us that you didn't see Nate Ackenhausen as a Cinderella story, and now you have another guy step up and extend further than he has all season in Griffin Herring. What was working for him tonight? What made you believe that he could go as long as he did?
Yeah, I thought he mixed well. I thought he threw all his pitches for strikes. I thought he had great composure. I think he plays older than his age, and I think throughout the season he's pitched in enough high leverage spots there's a few Fridays in a row. I want to say we brought him in after Paul to complete Friday 3 weeks in a row for wins. I want to say it was Ole Miss, somebody else, Alabama, Kentucky maybe, and he did a great job there. So I thought he would play well or pitch well against their lineup, and he certainly did.
Okay, back over here.
Yeah, Jay, Glenn West, 247. Just, I guess, following up on that, I think your pitching ERA for the postseason is like right at a 2.0 or something like that. I mean, just what is it about this staff where it's just kind of flipped for them in these last 3 weeks that's allowed them to have so much success?
Well, I have two thoughts on that. I think, number one, I don't think the season was as bad as people made it out to be. Like, look at our schedule. Like, just look back at who we've played. And then the Southeastern Conference is not friendly as far as the environments that these guys pitch in. Not from a fan standpoint, but from the ball. They're small. I mean, I don't have any other way to say it. And you're going to give up some runs in league. And that's every staff in the SEC. So I think part of it was some of that. I think, the best coach that any player is ever going to have in their life is playing time and being through some of that. So when you look back at a couple of the speed bumps, I think about Auburn, and Mississippi State, we didn't want to waste those losses or failure. And I think we learned a lot of things, both as coaches. We've adjusted some of the preparation things. We've adjusted some of the usage, not just in how, what pitches they throw, but how we're using guys. And so I think it's just been a good team effort, and I think we got guys that are good. I think we've evaluated really good with this roster. We feel like we've learned it better as the season's gone along. And, another thought that we talk about early is like, let's play well enough to win games early in the season so you can be in the NCAA tournament, but let's figure out our best team as we go.
Okay. Wilson.
Wilson's here with the Advocate. Cade Beloso is obviously he's got this great story, but he's also one of your best hitters. What is it about him that makes him capable of coming up in a moment like that?
Yeah, I was kind of chuckling inside at one of the questions earlier about doing well here. I mean, I was just looked down. He has 15 home runs and a ton of RBIs. He's had a great season. I just think he worked really hard, which we've well documented. Worked really hard going into last season, and then got hurt right before the opening day and missed last season. And then, doubled up on those efforts. And, I mean, literally changed his swing, improved his body a little bit, really honed in his approach, and he's got great hand-eye. I mean, he's one of those guys that feels like he was born to hit a line drive somewhere. I mean, it's just he has that kind of feel to him, and that's why he's sitting right where he is in that order, is because you trust him to come up with guys on base and give you a quality at bat, and that was a great one today.
Get back over here, Michael.
Coach, Michael Farrar with Berg Sports Network. Can you talk about how big the offense came up today in the third inning there?
Yeah, I did not like the first inning, and again, we're talking about 3 future major leaguers that hit for us in the first inning. But first pitch out, and then I thought Tommy swung at a ball on strike 3, and I thought Trey swung at a ball on the 3-2. Now, Keener is really good and has deception like their whole staff does. And then we gave up 2. And again, part of that was the offense's fault for making Javen go out there that quickly after a tough first inning. Like, that's bad baseball. Then so we just gathered it up. It's like we'd actually talked about a scenario where if you lose your plan in the postseason, that this can get away from you and it's over, just like that. So we had already talked about what I saw happen in the first inning, and it's we have to get back in character. And they did immediately, against a really 2 really good pitchers tonight. And Sullivan's tough. He's really tough, and we didn't do anything really off of him, but I'm pretty pleased with how we tried to execute what we were trying to do off of him.
Okay, Leah.
This is the 3rd game in the College World Series that you've had Riley Cooper come out and pitch in relief. I mean, what gives you that trust in him, and, what does his recovery process look like?
Yeah, I think when you're physical and bigger and stronger, I mean, he's one of the strongest guys, pound for pound on the team, you tend to recover better. And so that's part of what makes him is the stuff that shows up. But again, I've said this before, probably over the 2 weeks before we got here, it's not about spin rate right now. It's not about velocity. It's about pitch execution and winners. And he is a winner. And that's why I believe in him.
Okay, we have one more question for Jay. And if anybody wants it, okay. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.